New York City, a skyline built on ambition, a place where dreams can turn into empires or crumble in an instant. And in the late 1980s, amid a financial world that pulsed like a beating heart, one name would rise from obscurity and carve itself into history: Jordan Belfort. Before he became the Wolf, Jordan was just a kid from Queens. His parents were accountants, hardworking, middle-class, disciplined. Jordan grew up not with wealth, but with a hunger for it. He sold Italian ice on the beach as a teenager, earning thousands of dollars one summer. Even then, he knew one thing: he wanted more. Much more. When he first stepped onto Wall Street, he felt like he had found his destiny. Sharp suits, million-dollar deals, the intoxicating crackle of a stockbroker floor, it felt like a different planet. And Jordan was ready to dominate it. As a trainee at L.F. Rothschild, he met Mark Hanna, a man who embodied the dark glamour of Wall Street, refined, dangerous, and completely addicted to excess. Mark introduced Jordan to the rhythm of the financial underworld: Coke in the morning, martinis at lunch, and the belief that clients were ducks, waiting to be plucked. Jordan learned quickly. Faster than anyone expected. But then came Black Monday, October 19, 1987, the largest one-day market crash in history. Firms collapsed. Dreams dissolved. Jordan lost the job he had believed would define his future. Yet failure did not break him. It transformed him. Desperate, he took a job at a small penny stock shop in Long Island, a dumpy little office where brokers wore cheap shirts and sold worthless stocks to middle-class Americans. But here, Jordan discovered his gift: he could sell anything to anyone. He picked up the phone and unleashed a hypnotic stream of confidence. He used Wall Street language to sell garbage stocks to men who had never even heard of them. His first paycheck was $5,000. His second was $10,000. Soon, he was making more money in a week than he once dreamed of making in a year. Jordan realized something: if he could do this, he could build an empire. And so in 1989, he created Stratton Oakmont, a brokerage firm that sounded prestigious but was really a temple of chaos, greed, and manipulation. Jordan hired his childhood friends, Donnie, Chester, Robbie, men who knew nothing about finance but everything about loyalty. He trained them personally, teaching them the aggressive scripts and psychological tricks that turned hesitant callers into obedient investors. The office exploded with energy. Phones never stopped ringing. Brokers screamed into their headsets, pounding their chests, celebrating commissions like gladiators. At Stratton Oakmont, a 21-year-old dropout could make $100,000 in a month. Success turned into indulgence. Money flowed like water. Drugs flowed like oxygen. The office became a circus. Dwarf throwing contests. Strippers hired to motivate employees. 3-day parties. Champagne fountains. A marching band to celebrate IPO launches. Animals brought into the office for amusement. And Jordan stood at the center of it all, dressed in Armani suits, driving Ferraris, flying helicopters without a license, buying mansions, yachts, and luxuries that bordered on insanity. Behind the madness, though, was something darker. Stratton Oakmont perfected the pump-and-dump scam. They secretly bought shares of tiny companies, then used their army of brokers to inflate the stock price through aggressive selling tactics. Once the price skyrocketed, Jordan and his partners dumped their shares, making millions, while ordinary investors lost everything. Teachers, nurses, factory workers, retirees, people who trusted Jordan's voice over the phone, watched helplessly as their savings disappeared. But the FBI watched too. The more Stratton grew, the more attention it attracted. Agents began investigating the firm quietly. They traced calls, followed money trails, interviewed former employees. Jordan sensed the danger, but believed he could outsmart everyone: the SEC, the FBI, even his own conscience. Meanwhile, his personal life crumbled. Jordan had left his first wife for a stunning model named Nadine, whom he filled with diamonds, sports cars, and endless luxury. But beneath the glamorous surface were constant fights, drug-induced rages, and emotional breakdowns. Jordan's addiction to Quaaludes sent him into uncontrollable episodes: crawling on floors, crashing expensive cars, blacking out for hours, nearly killing himself multiple times. His yacht, once owned by Coco Chanel, sank off the coast of Italy during a storm because Jordan insisted on sailing through impossible waves. Crew members begged him to stop. He didn't listen. The yacht sank. Everyone survived, but the warning signs grew louder. The cracks in his empire became too large to hide. The FBI knocked on his door. Jordan tried to evade them, even attempted to bribe an agent, a terrible mistake. The government had enough evidence. Stratton Oakmont collapsed under federal raids. Computers seized, files confiscated, accounts frozen. Jordan was arrested for securities fraud and money laundering. Facing decades behind bars, he did what many empire builders eventually do: he caved. He cooperated, wore a wire, betrayed former friends and employees to reduce his sentence. Some saw it as survival. Others saw it as cowardice. Stratton Oakmont was shut down forever. Hundreds lost their jobs. Thousands of victims never recovered their money. Jordan, once worth hundreds of millions, ended up divorced, disgraced, and imprisoned. He served only 22 months in a federal prison, a light sentence compared to the damage he had caused. But prison changed him. Maybe it humbled him. Maybe it simply paused him. When he emerged, the world had not forgotten his name. He wrote a memoir, The Wolf of Wall Street. He began touring the world as a motivational speaker, preaching ethics, discipline, and success. Some saw redemption. Others saw hypocrisy. But Jordan didn't care. He had reinvented himself once again. Yet the deeper truth remains: Jordan Belfort is not just a criminal, nor a genius, nor a victim of circumstance. He is a symbol of greed, ambition, charm, manipulation, and the dangerous illusion that the pursuit of wealth justifies everything. His story teaches an uncomfortable truth. When money becomes your god, you will sacrifice anything: your morals, your family, your sanity, your freedom. Jordan rose like a rocket. He burned like a star. And then he fell, faster than he ever expected. Even today, his legacy is a reminder. On Wall Street, the wolves always eat first. But eventually, the house always catches them.